Another tool that can get lost sometimes that can save quite a bit of time is the remove duplicates. So I'm looking at my list here. I've imported it from somewhere else, and I've got first names and last names, and I've got all these characters. It could be students in a class, it could be galactic heroes. And now this isn't a particularly long list, so I could look through it by eye for any errors in there. So I've got a few worries in there, like I've got these guys without surnames, but I could always do something like I could just add a filler or something, or just leave it blank if I can cope with that, as long as I don't do any weird formatting. So there's one error in this one that is standing out though. I'm just going to highlight them so we can see them. I've got this guy keeps popping up. He actually pops up exactly the same entry, pops up 3 times. It's almost like he's been cloned. Now that could wreck a spreadsheet because say I was doing test scores and Boba Fett got his scores put in 3 times because it's the same child or the same student or the same person. It would mean that my scores would be skewed, my data would be pretty much useless because if that's in 3 times, what's to say it couldn't be in more and more? And if this was a long list with hundreds and hundreds of entries, like a whole school or a year group, having the same entry repeated could cause real problems. Equally, it could cause problems if one score was that 5 there and there was 9, so it's causing inconsistency and it wrecks the validity of your data. Now, if there were triplets and there were 3 different entries, each with a slightly different name, I'd have to adjust the name slightly so I could have Bobber 1, Bobber 2, Bobber 3. Okay, but I think this one is an error. So again, it's knowing your data. I think this one is an error, so I need to get rid of him. Now I could manually go through and delete the one in row 15 and delete the one in row 25. I could do that, but again, in a larger data set, that would take a lot of time and you're relying on human eye and you could make an error. So the quickest way is to get our data selected. So I'm going to have column A and column B. Again, I could have swiped over and selected all, but I'm just using the whole columns. And I'm going to go up into data, and there's an option called remove duplicates. So when I click on remove duplicates, it's going to ask me to define what it's interested in. Now it's got 996 rows and 2 columns because it's gone all the way down the page. I want it to analyze everything. But first of all, my data has a header row. Just in case I've got anyone called first last as a name, I want to make sure that I don't lose them. So my data does have a header row, and then suddenly it gives me the option. So it's saying what columns do I want to analyze. I want to analyze all of it because I want to know if there are any repeating names. So this means, is there anyone name that is repeated that has got the same name in column A and in column B 3, 4, 5 times, or anything more than once? So we're going to remove duplicates. So that's a result. 2 duplicate rows were found and removed. 23 unique rows remain. Thank you for telling me that. I can see I haven't lost all of my Boba Fett's. I've still got one there living in row 9, but before I had him living in row 15, he's gone. So Kylo's pushed up. So the ones that have been taken out, there was another Boba Fett there. It's been taken out and everyone's been shoved up. So I'm not left with any nasty gaps in there. Just really, really useful and really useful to use early, but you could use it once I've got all my data in here, all my scores or everything like that. Just one word of warning with it though. If I went into remove duplicates and said, I'm only interested in the last column, and I clicked remove duplicates, that will remove everyone with the surname Skywalker, apart from one, because it will say, I'm looking for duplicated Skywalkers. Well, I've got 2 of them in there, and they are clearly not the same person. They've got different first names. So just be a little bit careful with that. You're generally best off using the select all function. The only time I can think you'd use the other way around is, say you wanted to do a research and filter your data by different surnames in the galaxy far, far away. So that would be the only time I'd be thinking using that one, or different first names. But again, just be a little bit careful. And it does give you a little summary of what it's about to do, but I'm going to avoid that because that's not the outcome I want. As it is, I've managed to reduce it. I've got rid of my couple of cloned Boba Fett's. They've gone by the wayside, and I'm now left with 23 unique entries, which is where I want to be for the next stage of my spreadsheet.